Hi and welcome to this video. My name is Björn and I am here to introduce you to C# and ASP.NET for experienced developers. Basically wanted to show you some of the cool stuff of ASP.NET and C#, which is, sometimes useful for people that come from different environments, whether you're, Java or PHP or Perl or whatever you come from. It's a good idea to know what, the other frameworks and languages can do. So basically, as I said, this is a brief intro. I'm Björn B. Most people call me. I do developments, and I'm far older than I actually behave. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on me. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what we're going to do here. I'm not going to sell you C# or ASP.NET or any .NET or any technology. Really, I just wanted to, as I said, make sure you get to know ASP.NET and what it does and how it can work for you. We'll be using ASP.NET MVC. We'll be using something called the Entity Framework. We'll be looking at some C# code. We're going to build a very simple contact or lead data-driven application. And the point here is that we're actually going to keep evolving this idea as we move along. I haven't actually planned anything out in great detail. I want to just, as I said, show you some stuff that can be done. And I hate PowerPoint, so this is actually the very last slide. I'll be doing all the demoing in, let's just get rid of this, not really important. I'll be doing the demoing in Visual Studio Professional 2013. Basically, most of this stuff, actually, you can do in older versions as well. You can also do it in the free versions of Visual Studio. There are free versions available. They're called Visual Studio Express. You can just, Google that and you'll find it. And they're perfectly capable of doing everything that we're doing now. I'm just using Professional because that's, one of the labs I have available. First thing first. I mean, this is the largely the environment that's being used by C# or ASP.NET developers. Visual Studio is a great editor. Obviously, with any editor, it's what you're accustomed to that actually works for you. But basically, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a new ASP.NET web application. You have a ton of templates that are available. Just focus on this one for now. And let's just call this something like, I don't know, leads. Doesn't really matter what it is. We'll hit OK. And what you'll see now is that you get a second dialog that basically asks you, what type of ASP.NET application do you want to build? And one thing I should point out is that the options that are available here, they're expandable, so you can download. There's actually on the previous page, there's a link to get, new templates. You can find those online. They're community developed, and you can download them and install them. And that gives you far more options in here as well to create. There's some pre-made templates if you want to build particular applications. So out the box, you get this empty one, which is basically as bare bones as you can get it. And there's a web forms template, which is without going into too much detail, ASP.NET actually has multiple engines that you can use, or at least when you're building these web applications, there are multiple engines that you can use, and web forms is the sort of old style of doing it. The more modern style now is using the MVC application or MVC template, where you have a separate engine called Razor. We'll look into that as well. Don't need to worry about that. You also have something called the Web API, which is a very simple way to create an API-driven application. I'll also show you that. There's some templates here for single-page applications, and in this case, it's actually a template to have a to-do application, right? So it's for creating to-do lists, and there's a template here for Facebook as well. The other thing that's cool to see here is the authentication that you have. So basically, by default, it'll choose individual user accounts for you, and basically that allows you to very easily interact with stuff like Facebook or Twitter or Google or something like that, or even roll your completely own authentication provider. And it's actually out of the box, it'll create one for you that you can expand. You can add new columns or fields or whatever you want to collect with your from your users. But you also have, the options of setting, I don't want any kind of authentication. This is just a public page. You don't need to have any kind of registration or anything like that. You can use, cloud-based or Azure-based authentication if you have that, or it can be a non-Microsoft technologies as well, or you can use, old style, Windows authentication, which isn't really useful, at least when you're online. But the default one is individual user accounts. So we'll try that now. I'm not going to add these other options down here for now. I'll actually show you how we can do that. There's some specific reasons why I don't want to add them right now, and I'll get back to that later. So, and the other option, as I said, if you prefer to do a TDD or test-driven development style of development, it's very easy to have ASP.NET or Visual Studio create these the unit test projects for you, where you can do that. I'm not going to do that now, just to keep stuff simple. And now that we're done here, by the way, this is running in a virtual machine, so it'll take a bit of time to set everything up. But once this has been created now, we'll see what it does. Just out of the box, and that's basically how far I'd like to take this in this first video, and then we'll do follow-up videos to do the remaining things. So out of the box, as I said, we have a solution here. What you can do now is just hit play, which will basically now just compile and build everything, fire up the default browser that you have, and open the front page of your application. And what you can see here out of the box in just a couple of moments is that this is now a completely bootstrapped web page, which is using more or less one of the default bootstrap layouts. And just by creating stuff and hitting play, we already have, because we selected that individual user accounts, we already have the option of registering, and we don't need to do anything else. We can create now users. Everything here is done for us. So I can say I want to create, let's call it test user instead, like that. We'll find, and it even has, if I just say pass as a password, it'll actually do some validation for me without me having to think anything. You'll see that this is now highlighted in red. If I try to hit register, it'll say, needs to be 6 characters long. All of this is also validated on the server, by the way. So if you turn off JavaScript, it'll still validate. So let's just add password, which will now validate, just to have something simple, and we'll hit register. Now we have an account already set up for us. And this is basically, one of the things you get created for you out of the box. You'll also notice once we have registered, the first time we register, it'll take a few moments before it actually does that. And the reason for that is actually that behind the scenes, MVC has now created a database for us and made sure that complies with our models that we want to use for our users, etc., etc. Next time we register, it'll be a lot faster. We have, again, the option of logging off. We can log in. You'll notice on the right side here, there's a section called Use Another Service to log in. We haven't set that up yet, but it's very easy, and I can show you that in the next video. And we have, some of the default stuff here, just some pages here that we can modify, obviously. And as I said, if you look at the source here, all of this is Bootstrap. So if you know how to work with Bootstrap, or you have designers that know how to work with Bootstrap, well, you can just hand them these templates, and then they'll know exactly what to do with them. So, and I think this is basically, as far as I'd like to take this first video. Just, as I said, fire up something simple. And in the next video, I'd like to start creating some data behind this, so we can actually, start seeing how MVC and ASP.NET works with data when you have this, entity framework behind the scenes. So that'll be for the next video.